Before the world called him phenomenal, AJ Styles was the underdog nobody expected to last. But with every reinvention, he forced the wrestling world to take notice. 2002 to 2003, phenomenal rookie. AJ Styles broke onto the national scene in 2002, stepping into the brand new world of TNA at a time when wrestling was still dominated by heavyweights. He didn't look like a traditional headliner, shorter, leaner, with spiked hair and flashy gear. But the second the bell rang, fans realized they were seeing something different. From day one, AJ wrestled like gravity was just a suggestion. His spiral tap, a corkscrew senton bomb, looked like something pulled straight out of a video game. But what separated him from other high flyers was the way he combined his aerial arsenal with sharp technical sequences and counters. His matches flowed with a speed and rhythm that fans simply weren't used to. Against rivals like Lo Kai and Jerry Lynn, AJ not only kept up, he stole the show, quickly becoming the face of TNA's fast-paced X division. It wasn't just the moves that got him over, it was how he carried himself. AJ was young, fearless, and walked into every match like he belonged, even against seasoned veterans. Fans weren't just impressed by his athleticism, they believed he could stand toe-to-toe with anyone in the business. That belief. Here's a twist many forget. Around this same period, WWE offered AJ a developmental deal. The catch? He would have had to uproot his family, so he said no. Instead, he chose to stay put and build momentum on his own terms. That choice not only shaped his career, but also set the stage for what came next. His rise as the face of the X Division, 2003 to 2005, X Division icon. AJ Styles' decision to stick with TNA quickly paid off, because by 2003, he wasn't just part of the X Division, he was the name that defined it. The division's motto was, "It's not about weight limits, it's about no limits," and nobody embodied that better than AJ. Every time he hit the ring, fans knew they were about to see something they hadn't before. He clashed with names like Chris Sabin, Petey Williams, and Samoa Joe, creating matches that blended high-risk spots with technical precision. AJ's offense felt like it came from every direction. Pell kicks out of nowhere, springboard 450 splashes, and the Styles Clash, a finishing move so unique that opponents had to be drilled just to take it safely. That move actually came from AJ experimenting during training when he accidentally landed a variation of it on a friend, and it stuck. What made these years so important wasn't just the highlight reels, but the credibility AJ gave to the X Division itself. At a time when many fans saw smaller wrestlers as mid-card attractions, AJ's performances proved they could headline shows and steal pay-per-views. His matches became the backbone of TNA's weekly programming, often outshining the heavyweights at the top of the card. By 2005, AJ Styles wasn't just the face of the X Division, he was the reason people tuned in. Rivalries like his series with Samoa Joe and Christopher Daniels pushed the division to new heights, with their triple threat match at Unbreakable still considered one of the best in TNA history. In just a few years, AJ had gone from rookie standout to the centerpiece of a whole new style of wrestling, and fans knew this was only the beginning. From innovator to headliner, AJ's next chapter would prove he could carry the entire company on his shoulders. 2005 to 2009, TNA champion. By 2005, AJ Styles had outgrown just being the face of the X Division. He was now carrying the company itself, stepping into the heavyweight picture and proving that size wasn't the only ticket to the top. When AJ won the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, he silenced every critic who said he was too small to be the guy. This era showed a new side of AJ, still fast, still innovative, but with more grit. His matches against veterans like Jeff Jarrett, Abyss, and Sting gave fans something different. A smaller star holding his own against larger-than-life opponents. He leaned on submissions, stiff strikes, and brawling when needed, mixing them seamlessly with the aerial moves fans expected. AJ actually became the first wrestler in TNA history to win every major title the company had: Tag, X Division, and World Championship, cementing him as their franchise player. The storytelling during this run also hit harder. Whether it was fighting off Jarrett's stranglehold on the title scene or proving himself against legends, AJ started to feel less like an underdog and more like a legitimate ace. He wasn't just stealing shows anymore, he was leading them. By the end of this stretch, AJ Styles had gone from being the X Division guy to the cornerstone of TNA. Fans no longer wondered if he belonged in the main event. They wondered how long it would take for him to be recognized as one of the best in the world. If the last chapter was about proving himself, this one was about leading the charge. 2009 to 2013, Fortune leader. By 2009, AJ Styles had cemented himself as the top star in TNA. But this next chapter wasn't just about holding championships, it was about leading. When he captured the TNA World Heavyweight title again, he became the face of the company, and soon after, he stepped into a new spotlight as the leader of Fortune. Fortune was TNA's answer to Ric Flair's Four Horsemen, and with Flair himself mentoring the group, AJ was placed right at the center. Gone were the humble beginnings. This version of AJ had suits, swagger, and a cocky edge. Flair even called AJ his protege, a shock considering Flair's reputation for doubting smaller wrestlers. Inside the ring, AJ added polish to his game. He slowed the pace when needed, leaned on psychology, and used his explosiveness more strategically. Against legends like Kurt Angle, Sting, and Samoa Joe, he showed that he wasn't just the X Division's greatest export, he was the complete package. The Fortune run also proved AJ's adaptability. He could lead a faction, play arrogant heel, or shift back into the heroic underdog role when the story called for it. And no matter the role, he always delivered when the bell rang. By the time Fortune dissolved, AJ Styles wasn't just TNA's highlight reel. He was its cornerstone, the wrestler who carried the brand through some of its most ambitious years. The suits and swagger were gone. What came next was a darker, grittier AJ Styles, forged by the collapse of Fortune. Before we get into this darker lone wolf chapter of AJ's career, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the rest of his incredible journey. 2013, Lone Wolf AJ. When Fortune faded and TNA's landscape shifted, AJ Styles reinvented himself once again. Gone was the polished suit-wearing leader. In 2013, AJ returned with darker gear, a hooded jacket, and a brooding, almost anti-hero edge. This was AJ stripped back to his core, a man with nothing to prove to anyone but himself. His style in the ring reflected that change. The flashy aerial moves were used more sparingly, replaced with a grittier, more deliberate approach. He leaned on submissions, stiff strikes, and a mean streak that fans hadn't seen from him before. AJ was no longer just phenomenal. He was unpredictable, dangerous, and more compelling than ever. Storylines mirrored his transformation. He wasn't aligned with stables or legends this time. He was the lone gun, standing apart from everyone else in TNA. That gave his matches extra weight, especially as he chased the TNA World Championship again, this time looking more like a renegade than a company poster boy. This version of AJ was so distinct that fans and critics compared him to Sting's Crow-era reinvention in WCW, a lone figure who stood apart from the chaos around him. By the end of 2013, AJ had carried TNA through one of its most turbulent years, even leaving the company with the world title in hand before parting ways for good. It was a symbolic exit, closing the book on over a decade as TNA's cornerstone and setting the stage for the next unexpected chapter of his career. Most thought leaving TNA meant AJ was done. What nobody expected was that his next stop would change wrestling forever. 2014 to 2016, Bullet Club AJ. Leaving TNA in 2013 could have been the end of AJ's story, but instead, it launched a whole new chapter. By 2014, AJ Styles shocked fans by arriving in New Japan Pro Wrestling, instantly aligning himself with the infamous Bullet Club. For a wrestler who had spent most of his career as a lone wolf, stepping into one of wrestling's most dominant factions gave him a whole new edge. This version of AJ carried himself differently. The hood and dark persona remained, but now it was combined with arrogance and swagger, perfectly suited to leading a rebellious heel stable. In the ring, AJ adapted to the Japanese style, blending his high-flying arsenal with stiffer strikes and a more methodical pace. Matches against names like Hiroshi Tanahashi, Kazuchika Okada, and Shinsuke Nakamura showed he wasn't just thriving overseas, he was excelling at the very top, and he didn't waste time climbing the ladder. AJ won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship in his very first match with New Japan, a feat almost unheard of for a foreign wrestler. That made him only the sixth non-Japanese wrestler in history to ever hold that belt, putting his name alongside legends like Vader and Brock Lesnar. AJ's Bullet Club run not only gave him global credibility, it reinvented him as a true main event star outside of TNA. His style, his aura, and his reputation all grew to the point where fans worldwide were asking the same question: Could AJ Styles finally make it to WWE? After carving his name across the globe, AJ's journey was leading him to the only stage big enough for his story, WWE. 2016 to 2018, WWE debut, Phenomenal 1. For years, fans wondered if AJ Styles would ever step foot in a WWE ring. By 2016, he had proven himself everywhere else: TNA, New Japan, even Mexico and Europe. The WWE seemed like the last mountain. That all changed at the Royal Rumble in January. When the word phenomenal hit the screen, the arena erupted, and AJ's debut instantly became one of the loudest moments of the decade. From the start, AJ carried himself like he belonged. His first rivalry with Chris Jericho showcased his crisp athletic style, but it was his feud with Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship that really announced him as a threat. Still, it was his trilogy of matches with John Cena that cemented him as a top guy. These weren't just good matches, they were instant classics, showcasing AJ's mix of high-flying athleticism, submission grappling, and ringside into the main event. By late 2016, AJ had captured the WWE Championship, and by 2017, he was the cornerstone of SmackDown, earning the nickname, the face that runs the place. In just 2 years, AJ went from WWE newcomer to world champion, living up to his phenomenal moniker and proving he was every bit the global star fans always knew he could be. But AJ's story in WWE wasn't just about proving he belonged. It was about proving he could define an era. 2018 to present, WWE Champion and Legend. By 2018, AJ Styles was no longer the new guy in WWE. He was the standard. He walked into WrestleMania as WWE Champion, defending the title against Shinsuke Nakamura in a dream match that symbolized how far he'd come. For years, that clash seemed impossible, but AJ had gone from an outsider to standing on the grandest stage with the belt in his hands. As his reign continued, AJ built a reputation as one of WWE's most reliable main eventers. Whether it was facing Daniel Bryan, Samoa Joe, or Finn Balor, AJ delivered every time. His style had evolved too, less reckless than his younger years, but just as sharp. He even quietly set a record as one of the longest reigning WWE champions in SmackDown history, holding the belt for over 370 days. From there, AJ transitioned into the role of a veteran leader. Aligning with the OC brought back some Bullet Club swagger, and later feuds with The Undertaker, Edge, and Seth Rollins proved he could adapt to any era. Now, well into his 40s, AJ Styles remains exactly what his name promises: phenomenal. Not just a champion of the past, but a living. AJ Styles went from rookie to legend, but which version of him do you think was the most phenomenal? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more wrestling stories.